Shut up.
What is happening, friends of CCP Podcasting? Welcome to Beyond the Bell Live. I am Chris Page. It is a Sunday morning here in the States, but it is definitely an evening for our guest today. We'll get there in just one moment. Before we do, hope everybody is having a great weekend and is looking forward to next weekend. Why? Because we're doing Chapter 6, Built on Business in Orlando, Florida. That's why. Our main event, Mims defending our heavyweight championship against Baracco. We've also got Mikey Spandex and Blade Brown. We've got Terry Kidd and Matthias. 9 big matches across the entire show, and you guys need to be there. Get your tickets for that at ccppodcasting.com. Head over to the store tab and do the thing. We want to see you. We want to see you there with us. Have no fear. If you can't make it live and in person, we're going to live stream the event. It's going to go up at 7 p.m. Eastern time over on the YouTube platform, which is where you'll be able to catch the entire show. It's going to be a fun night. Some great surprises on tap and a lot of different moving parts. It should be a fun time. If you're joining us across Twitch, X, or YouTube, welcome. I see you, Goth. I see you, UK Paul. Hope you boys are doing all right this morning. I know I am, because I've been looking forward to having this conversation so much that to the fact that I got the times wrong and thought we were doing this yesterday, but it is indeed today. Our guest is from Malaysia Pro Wrestling. We have been watching and following them for the last year or so, and a lot of these guys and girls have really drawn us in some form or fashion. Our guest today is no different. You can see him through Malaysia Pro Wrestling, and of course, I'm talking about the Wonder Boy. Welcome to Beyond the Bell Live, sir. How are you? Happy belated birthday.
Thank you so much. It's very good to be here. What's up, everybody? I'm the dashing devil himself, the Wonder Boy, and it's great to be here. Thank you so
I'm
much.
excited, man. Anytime that I get a chance to talk to anyone from over there, over in your neck of the woods, it's always a good time. I really enjoy the education side of learning, right? Like, and learning more about you and what's happening in your neck of the woods, and for us to have watched as much stuff and be able to just be a part of what you guys are building over there, special to us as a platform. I'll keep it real. Like, Iman will hit me up and say, "Hey, man, we got a show. You want to do a sponsorship?" And I'm like, "Tell me when." You know, like, you guys are one of those companies that I have no problem in sending money to and saying, "Go kill it," because I really enjoy what's happening there. And we're going to talk a lot about it as we get started and we get into this conversation for sure. But where I start for me is fandom. I like to know where journeys begin, because you don't have what you have today without falling in love with professional wrestling in some form or fashion. So what drew you in?
Cool, man. Ooh, what drew me in? So I started watching wrestling when I was like 12 years old. Actually, the person that introduced me to wrestling was actually my brother, and we were like just young children watching. He actually just one day, WWE was playing on TV, and he just told me to watch it, and I was like, ooh, this is pretty cool. I remember watching, during that time, it was Randy Orton in a Battle Royale, I think. And then ever since then, I got hooked onto watching the thing. I watch it like every week. Watching, like, I was just really hooked onto the drama, to be honest. So it was like pretty fun time. Like, and then over time, I just got.
So the Viper is who drew you in, and I think in 2012, wasn't he on that heel run in 2012? I can't remember if that was the time he had Cody and Ted DiBiase Jr. with him. I don't know if that was I can't remember specifically, but what about Orton drew you into him?
Yeah. Oh no, he's just a crazy person. You don't see, like, as just a normal person that just got into wrestling, right? You don't see this kind of madness on TV. And when you see it, I was like, wow, didn't know this kind of thing was allowed. I remember also watching, like, the first few people that I saw when I first started watching wrestling was like Mark Henry, Randy Orton, and surprisingly R-Truth as well. I was really entertained with R-Truth. These were just the people coincidentally on the TV during that time.
When you mention R-Truth, dude, like, That guy has got comedy down to a science, but what some people don't realize about Truth is I fell in love with Truth way back in his TNA days when he was with the
Mm.
NWA TNA heavyweight champion.
Yeah.
Like that's how you portray
Mm-hmm.
Truth, in my opinion, because like he was a badass and did not care who he pissed off, and to
Yeah.
fast forward to see his
Mm.
longevity is incredible because he has constantly
Mm.
found ways to keep himself involved and keep himself in the mix, and you know, taking
Mm.
situations that wouldn't get
Yeah.
over otherwise, but he can get it over. And little Jimmy,
Mm.
like that was hilarious to me. You
Yeah.
mentioned another name that
Yeah.
doesn't get a whole
Yeah.
lot of recognition when we have these conversations. Mark Henry. Like
Mm.
that was his Hall of
Yeah.
Pain days, if I'm not mistaken. It,
Yes. Yes, it was.
I remembered Henry from the Attitude Era,
Mm.
so it was kind of like when they shifted and did the Hall of
Mm.
Pain, it was hard for me to take it seriously because we're talking about the same guy who birthed
Yeah.
a Mae Young hand, you know, like it was just weird stuff back in that time. But
Yeah, that's
he
true. That's true.
definitely corrected himself.
Mm-hmm.
Henry got me on his promo where he was
Mm-hmm.
retiring. And he ended up laying out whoever the champ
Yeah.
was. Like
Oh
that
yeah.
was when I was like, yeah,
Mm.
okay, I can buy this. I can get on this train because it was just different and
Yeah.
how they did it was great. And you know, it's great.
Yeah. And they
Yeah,
still do it to
yeah,
this
yeah.
day.
He's
Yeah.
I think he's doing fuck, what is
Mm-hmm.
the name of his fed? He's doing
Mm-hmm.
oh man,
Mm.
All Caribbean Wrestling, I believe is what he's doing.
Yeah.
Is the company that he's running over. But it's
Mm. Mm-hmm.
you see stuff like
Yeah.
that, and I always like to know where the journey starts because that is obviously the catapult
Mm.
for getting you into professional wrestling in general. So for you
Mm-hmm.
to go from
Yeah.
fandom to really start thinking about
Mm.
you know, what does this look like? How does it, you know, getting into wrestling and professional wrestling in
Mm.
Malaysia and you know all the questions that come along with it,
Yeah.
how did you get involved and what was your journey just to get to a place to train?
Wow. Very long story actually. So, I became like from 2012, I became a fan all the way till I was 15 years old. So 15 years old is where I decided, oh, I actually want to try wrestling. But keep in mind that back then when I was like a kid, up to my 15th, I was not an athletic kid at all. I was actually like below average from athletic. I was actually like, I was fat, and then I was like, damn, if I really want to do wrestling, I should need to lose some weight and get a little bit in shape before I started this. So at the age of 14, before I joined Malaysia Pro Wrestling, um, I got to was it? I
Mm.
lost some weight basically. So I found Malaysia Pro Wrestling through YouTube actually. The first like match that I watched was actually Oman. So back then he was just like what 13 years old, same age as me as well. Um, oh wait, no, back then he was like 15. Yeah, he was like he faced like back then it was like opponent. The first match I watched was him against a guy named Firiz Faisal, and that made me realize, oh, there's actually wrestling in Malaysia. So I decided to just give them a message and join their tryout, and then yeah, it just led all the way up
So
to
you broke
today.
in
Yeah,
with
it's a
Malaysia
very
Pro
long journey.
Wrestling and getting involved and it's funny as you
Yeah.
say that Iman was
Mm.
one of the first matches that you saw. Iman's how I came across Malaysia Pro Wrestling. I credit him. And it was
Yeah.
I told you before we came on
Mhm.
the air, I stumbled across Iman in Australia. And when I followed,
Mm.
you know, he didn't follow back. He wasn't following initially, but I had saw that he made a trip and he
Yeah.
went. I didn't know that he was from Malaysia, right?
Mhm.
Like I didn't know. But he
Ah, yes.
plugged
Mhm.
MYPW. And when I saw that, I immediately started
Mhm.
following MYPW and started seeing what was going on there because
Mhm. Yeah.
I think that he's tremendous. I thought he was tremendous then. I think he's great now. And if he's
Yeah.
talking about a Fed, well, I probably
Mhm.
need to know what he's talking about. And that's how we stumbled into you guys and
Yeah.
really what was going on there. Goth
Mhm.
over in
Mm.
chat's one of my co-hosts. I think we did a down the rabbit hole on
Yeah.
MYPW where we just pulled random matches and just watched them, right? And at that point, it's like,
Mm-hmm.
who draws
Yeah.
us in? Who do we connect with, right? Because we're going to connect with somebody. We just don't know who.
Mm.
We didn't expect to connect with like half of the fucking
Yeah.
roster because of what you guys are doing out there. And I say
Mm-hmm.
that to kind of transition a little bit. When you
Yeah.
break in and you're working and you're getting into training, there's always those reality checks, right? Like it ain't real until it's
Mm.
real. And for me, it was the first bump I took that I realized that, well, this is
Yeah.
a little painful here to start
Mm-hmm.
off. What were what were some of those
Yeah.
strengths and weaknesses
Mm.
for you? What was something that came to you? A couple things came to you naturally, and what were some stuff that was like, okay, we got to work on this?
Okay. So back then when I first started wrestling, let me tell you, bumping didn't hurt at all. Because I was like what? I was like only
Hmm.
what 15, 18. It only started affecting me when I like now because we have a new ring and it hurts. So I was like, oh, maybe should get I should I should keep my recovery a little bit more seriously. But in terms of strength, actually, um, I'm actually a slow learner, but the thing is, every time I want to do something, I always make sure that I can do it good. So it might take a little bit more time for me to learn it, but I'll still make sure that what I do is like 100%. So I think my strengths are that I don't give up, and what's difficult for me is that it's hard for me. Like it takes time for me to learn, which is fine. Yeah, which is
Well,
fine.
I get
Mm.
that 100%. Mine, when I got into it, was footwork. It
Mm.
took me a minute because I have two left feet.
Yeah.
It took me a hot minute
Ah. Yeah.
to figure out the
Mhm.
placements and why it's important and why what it, everything
Yeah.
has its
Mhm.
place, right? And everything that you learn, it has value. You just
Yeah.
have to figure out what that value is to you and your act
Mm.
and what you're trying to perceive. For me, brother,
Mm.
yeah, I'm a
Yeah.
klutz. I'm clumsy. I'm the guy that tripped over the stairs and the ring
Yeah.
ropes getting into the ring on his debut. Like I'm that guy. It was rough to begin with, but once it clicks, it all falls into
Yeah.
place, and that's the one
Mhm.
of the beautiful moments. Now,
Yes.
learning from
Mhm.
from Malaysia Pro Wrestling, and some of the takeaways that you did take away from those earlier years, if you will. What are some of those? What who was training you?
Mm.
What was going through your mind as you're going through this whole process?
Yeah. Okay. So when I first joined wrestling, I was trained under. Not sure if you heard, but he's wrestled in the US before. His name is
Hmm.
Shaukat. So he was my coach back until to 2021, where he decided what is it where he um stepped down from the companies, and now starting from 2021 I was trained by an Australian wrestler named Carlo Cannon.
Hmm.
I think you've heard of him
Current
before.
champ,
Yeah, Carlo Cannon.
current champ right now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I'm basically trained
Yeah,
by
I
yeah
love
two
it.
people.
I love it. It's
Yeah.
I
So
in my
yeah.
day, like
Mm-hmm.
one thing I love about wrestling is education never stops. It truly doesn't. You can always find something
Mm.
to learn, and that is in
Yeah.
any locker room, that is in any company that
Mm-hmm.
you work with, people that you work like you can always learn something. It's like I tell the guys today at our live events, like
Mm-hmm.
I we are here so that
Yeah.
we can introduce you to our platform and our affiliates and really and truly help. How do we
Mm-hmm.
help? That's the name of the game, right? Because wrestling is tough.
Yeah.
It's difficult.
Mm-hmm.
It's not easy. If
Yeah.
it was, everybody would fucking do it.
Mm-hmm.
Instead, you have, a lot of
Yeah.
armchair quarterbacks that wouldn't know what to do if they were in the ring, let alone how to structure or put
Mm-hmm.
anything together. So it's kind of wild to me. I
Yeah.
I love the fact that you got
Mm-hmm.
into it so young too. Like for me, that is one of those
Yeah.
things that shows a different level because in that age, you could be doing 50,000 other things, but you chose to do professional wrestling and get into
Yeah.
professional wrestling. You're making those
Yeah.
What's the word I'm looking for?
Mm-hmm.
Fuck, I just had it. ADHD kicked in.
Mm.
You're using it. And you're
It's
do what now?
okay, same man.
Are
Yeah.
you you have
Right.
you're an
Same.
ADHD
Same
guy
here,
too?
man. Well, everyone. I mean, I'm not officially diagnosed, but everyone says I
Oh,
do.
this is
So
gonna be great.
whatever.
We're two kindred spirits. Sacrifices is where I was trying to go.
Yes.
Is you're making those sacrifices at such a young
Ah.
age that for me it makes me take people more
Mm.
seriously. It's like when I hear people getting involved at 12 and
Mm-hmm.
13 and 14 years old, which is incredible for me to hear
Yeah.
because I didn't start until I was 17,
Mm.
and that was by law.
Yeah.
I couldn't, and even then, statute of limitations have passed, so I can tell this
Mm-hmm.
story. I forged a document so that I
Yeah.
could get in the ring and start training. But keep in mind, different
Yeah.
times, different places, right? When you're going through this
Mm. Yeah, man.
process, of training in Malaysia, what does that look like, right? Because I've never been to Malaysia. I don't know. I know that wrestling is on the rise there
Mm-hmm.
and has been for the last several years. So when you
Mm-hmm.
first start getting into it, like, I don't want to sound like a stupid question or anything, but were you guys working in a ring? Was it on mats?
Yeah.
Was it like, what did that look like?
Thankfully, we
Okay.
already had a ring by then, so that was one of the luxuries that we had. We would always train 2 to 3 times a week, which we I think the schedule is still pretty similar today. We would always be training for like 2 to 3 hours. Some of the guys, bit crazy. They was like some of them would almost stay for the whole day. It's like for the passion, which is good. Um, yeah, we would always be training 2 to 3 times a week to this day, which is good. And not only that, we even have online classes with Carlo Cannon as well. So yeah, I would say, training like wrestling training in Malaysia, yeah, we're pretty lucky in
Got
terms
you.
of that.
Got you.
Mm,
When you start rolling through the
yeah.
training, the debut has got to be coming at some
Mm-hmm.
point in time. But before we get to a debut, man, you got to start thinking about character and presentation, right? And
Mm.
putting together the pieces of
Oh
who
yeah.
the Wonder Boy
Yeah.
is. So let's talk a little bit about that. When you're starting to
Uh
put
huh.
together the presentation of
Yeah.
what you're wanting to do, what does that look like and what's the process like for you?
Mm. Wow. When you talk about character and presentation, right, that's something that I struggled with the most actually when I started, and to this day actually, because I'm still learning as well. Actually, back then I went by a different name, so I went by the name JY Eagle. So JY basically it just stands for my last name Junyan in Chinese, and Eagle is because I like birds. So so as you can see, right, even back then, right, I've already had a struggle in terms of identity. So it really took a lot of time to, put in the pieces over time. And it led to me right now being the dashing devil himself, the Wonder Boy. And wow, it's it's a long journey. So basically, mm, wow, it's still a struggle to this day, not gonna lie. But the dashing devil is basically a character. It started off as it's like I don't know how to say it. It's a stereotype that we had in Malaysia back then when it first started in 2020. It's like those those college jocks, but we have a stereotype for that in Malaysia. You know how in Australia there's this thing called an essay. I'm not sure what they call it in America, but we call that like in Malaysia we call it a lala It's just a very cocky, very and basically just an ass. So I started like that, and then over time, um, when I need to work face, right, I had to pivot a way to make this guy good. So it was a bit of a challenge to me as well. So yeah, to this day I'm still working on that.
Well,
Not gonna lie.
it's funny because I was polar
Mm.
opposite. I started as a babyface and I ran as a
Yeah.
babyface for probably a year, and then I was
Yeah.
like, "This is just not for me."
Mhm.
I,
Yeah.
I am a
Uh
dude
huh.
that
Yeah.
I used to bill myself as the most controversial man on the planet. Not because I would do or say anything
Mhm.
controversial, but just
Mhm.
because it was easy
Yeah.
and it gave that illusion that
Mhm.
I'm a loose cannon. I'll say what I want to say. I'll do what I want to do. If
Yeah.
you want to stop me, you can try.
Mhm.
I don't know how well it's going to work for you, but you can
Mhm.
try.
Yeah.
and it was just easy to do.
Mm,
And that makes me
mm-hmm.
want to ask you, from heel to face, do you have a preference? Do you prefer one over the other, or does it matter?
Ooh. Ooh, it does not matter actually. I actually enjoy doing either. Like both ways I can pull off, which is something that
I'm
I
not
am
gonna lie
happy
to
with.
you, dude. When we
Yeah.
watched the last Malaysia Pro show, you were in that number one
Mm.
contenders match, and I was like, "Oh, what if he flips? What
Ah,
if he flips?" I was watching it with Goth and just kind
yeah.
of
Uh-huh.
armchair quarterbacking while the match was going on. I
Yeah.
was like, "Man, this could be a
Mm-hmm.
moment." And I did.
Yeah.
I thought you were gonna flip. I
Mm-hmm.
even after the match when you
Mm-hmm.
guys shook hands and hugged, I was like, "Oh, he's gonna kick
Yeah.
him in the dick. Here we go. He's
Uh-huh.
gonna turn." And I didn't get it. I was like, oh, there it
Yeah.
was. There it was.
Nah.
When you get to your
Mm-hmm.
debut, you know, I for me, I know that for me debuts are very special. And they're special for a lot of reasons. And even,
Yeah.
today when I make trips and I'm able to
Mm,
witness a debut, I tell the guys or the girls, I'm like, we're connected for life. You
mm,
don't know it, but we are. And I had a guy ask me not too long ago, I was like, why do you say that? And I was like, well,
mm.
because while, people will watch it online, the only people that could feel the building and feel the energy are those who are here, present, live, and in living color for it. So
Yeah.
told you
Mm-hmm.
about mine.
Mm-hmm.
I tripped over the ropes and the steps on the way up to the ring, but let's talk about yours. What was going through your
Yeah.
head? How did you what were you feeling? What was happening when you got a chance to finally make that debut after putting in all the work and making the sacrifices that come along with training just to get involved?
Yeah. Wow. I remember my debut match was actually the kickoff. No, actually not the kickoff. The first match of the show. So yeah, I was scared shitless. Not gonna lie. So back then, what I was like fif- 15 years old. Yeah. Wait, no, 16 years old. Yeah, 16 years old. I was scared. My first match was against not sure if you know. I think because if you watch the show, Cornelius Low. Yeah, I almost like you said. You almost slipped. You slipped entering the ring. You almost slipped. Right. I almost fucked up my springboard, but luckily I caught myself in one leg, and yeah, it's still okay. But nothing, nothing too like. I'm just lucky that I didn't mess up nothing much in my debut match, which is something that I'm happy, quite proud
No,
of.
no, I
Yeah.
I had that moment, man, and back in my day,
Mm-hmm.
we traveled, right? So it was like Mondays we were in one state, Tuesdays we were in another,
Mm-hmm.
et cetera, and we'd rinse and repeat. So
Yeah.
for the first year, while I was a babyface, when we went back to the town that I tripped over the ropes and the steps, I did it every show. I trolled myself
Uh-huh.
every show and would trip over something
Yeah.
because you can't come back from
Uh-huh.
that. Everybody's gonna fucking
Yeah.
remember. It's the same crowd, right? It's the same
Uh-huh.
people. So I just figured out how to
Yeah.
have fun with it. And I do that
Mm-hmm.
even today. If I make a mistake, I'll make fun of myself and just be like,
Yeah.
whatever.
Mm.
Uh, real quick over
Mm-hmm.
in chat, Goth says, thank you for
Mm-hmm.
the Nirvana mix song on that last show. Yeah.
Oh. Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
so that was a
The
track. We
dubstep.
dig the entrance themes, and when we watch you guys back, it's like,
Mm.
oh wait, I know that track. That is Nirvana. what what led you to that as an
Yeah.
entrance theme? Let me ask you that, because Goth will probably slap me the next time he sees me if I don't.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So every time I look for a theme song, right, I always try to look for something that relates to me. So got when I found the Nirvana song, right, I was listening through it. I was like, ooh, this could kind of work, but I still needed something that that fits me, because back then when I was doing the asshole character, I was coming with dubstep music, and I was like, you know what? Let me see if I can look for smells like Team Spirit dubstep, and I found that song. I was like, okay, I'll just use it.
And that's it.
But that's
That's
yeah,
it. I our
yeah,
Our new
yeah, man.
theme now is a heavy metal version of Careless Whisper by by not Careless Whisper.
Nice.
So sorry. It is Gene Rafferty.
Mhm.
Fuck, what's the name of the song now? I can't even remember the name of the song.
Yeah.
Oh my God,
Mm.
Colossus is going to kill me now. He's in Australia. He's the one who gifted it to me. But nonetheless,
Yeah.
music defines you. It,
Mm.
it
Mm-hmm.
it gives you an extra layer to your presentation and to your character, and I think that it's like a make or
Yeah.
break. I think
Yeah.
things start the moment you make your
Mm-hmm.
entrance, and from that point forward, like the red light's
Yeah.
on. It's time to go. Uh, Over the course
Mm-hmm.
of your career thus
Yeah.
far, with Malaysia Pro specifically, I want to talk about like moments and moments that
Mm.
matter to you. Like, what are some of the things that you've been able to do?
Yeah.
And what's crazy is like you started at 15 and 16. You're 10 years deep now. You're a decade strong.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
give me some of those moments to you that you look back on
Mm-hmm.
as that's something that matters.
Let me think. Mm, I could say the first one would be when I main evented a show at the age of like 18 years old with Emman actually. That was like a show called Wrestle Nation. That yeah, right before COVID actually. No, was it? Yeah, right before. Oh wait, then I was like 19 years old. Yeah, that was like one of the matches that I would be extremely proud of. And after that would be my first ever title victory in 2023 because um because like you said, all the sacrifices led to that moment, and that really meant a lot to me. And what else? And also, I would say being able to travel across all of Asia and now starting out of Asia, that also means a lot because it shows that damn, if the bookers want me, maybe I'm doing something right. So that's what I'm proud
When you
of as
talk about
well.
championships,
Yeah.
I have a take on them. A lot of folks
Yeah.
some folks, I'm not gonna say a lot because I don't want to put words in anybody's mouth. They're like, oh, it's a
Mm-hmm.
prop. It's just a whatever.
Mm-hmm.
For me, it was a company
Mm-hmm.
recognizing value and recognizing that there's something
Mm-hmm.
there and
Yes.
trust. There's a lot of trust that comes along with it.
Mm-hmm.
So it's more than a prop. It
Yeah.
is
Mm-hmm.
a glaring
Yeah.
recommendation, if you will, from the companies specifically that says we see
Basically.
something here, we see a lot
Mm-hmm.
here. Let's go to that championship win.
Yeah.
And
Mm-hmm.
who was it against,
Mm.
and how did it lay out, and how did it play out?
Okay. So basically, I was in a tournament back then called the
Yes.
Journey to Go back in 2023. So we had a few matches. Yeah. Yes. So my first match was against Jack Alexander. Was it? Yeah, Jack Alexander. So I qualified for that, and then I went against the Butcherman for the title. And after that, yeah, the title back then was actually called the MYPW National WrestleCon Championship. So it's basically two championships merged together. And then for fast forward to 2024, I introduced a new title, which is currently the Malaysia Pro Wrestling Southeast Asia Championship.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
So you're definitely creating
Mm.
waves very early. Well, I'm saying early, but midways into your
Yeah.
career thus far. And what's so crazy about this is
Mm-hmm.
when I hear stuff and I
Yeah.
hear like 10 years at 25 years old, it makes me think about mind-blowing
Mm-hmm.
facts. And for me, it's, we've been able to follow your
Yeah.
career over the last year or so for sure. But you're so young
Mm.
now, and you mentioned something earlier about recovery, and this plays into that. In my day, we didn't take good care of ourselves at all.
Yeah.
So longevity in
Uh-huh.
the scene, your prime was your early 30s. Now your prime's not until your
Mm.
late 30s if you're taking really good care of yourself. So the
Yeah.
mind-blowing fact isn't
Mm.
10 years, it's where are you going to be in 5. And then, oh, by the way, your prime at
Yeah.
that point's 8 years later, at a minimum 8 additional
Yeah.
years, and you're going to hit your prime. So I always
Mm-hmm.
say, if you're this good now, just think about how good you're going to be when you do hit that
Mm.
prime of your career and your prime run. That's the mind-blowing
Yeah, man.
fact, is because that is still
Mm-hmm.
10, 12 years away from now, which is why the younger generation is why we
Yeah,
always
man.
say that we have to invest in you guys.
Mm-hmm.
because you guys are the ones that are going to be leading the
Mm.
charge for your areas and your continents and your markets for the next couple of decades. You guys are
Mm.
very instrumental and very
That's true.
crucial into what professional
Mm.
wrestling is going to be.
Mm-hmm.
And I want to ask you this, especially
Mm.
with Malaysia Pro, it's growing. It is
Yeah.
doing some things. It is making some moves, and you have been there for
Mm.
for a decade.
Mm.
Let's talk about the growth that you've seen
Mm.
from MYPW over the last 10 years. And what does that look like for you? And what's the most enjoyable moment of seeing this growth that's happening from fan base to all points in between? What's some stuff that stands out to you
Yeah.
as this market is growing?
Wow. That wow. It's been very long time coming. Let me think. Wow. So wow. That's an interesting question. Let me think. Something that especially I've been in this company for 10 years. I've seen many things happen. But I would say first thing that really that I've seen grow is our in terms of our in ring. Our in ring has definitely grown a lot from back when I first started to now because of all the knowledge that we've achieved from everyone. And in terms of our fan base, it's definitely growing, which is a good thing. So we have these days we even have collaborations with DDT
Mm-hmm.
Pro Wrestling. For last year we had this show called Love and Peace. So that's something that we're very proud of. So if a company like DDT could see could see value in us and want to invest in us and collab with us for a show, I think that's something that we should be proud of, which is a good thing. So yeah, we've definitely grown from um mid really how do you say like okay wrestling to better wrestling, and when better wrestling comes, people more eyes are seeing us and they want to invest their money into us, which is that's something that we should be
I
proud of.
100% agree. It's something
Yeah.
that you guys should be patting yourselves on the back for.
Mm.
It's the market
Yeah.
in Malaysia. And I'm not going to pretend to know everything. I just know off of what I hear and what I see. Like the market
Mm.
in Malaysia, while it's not like the biggest market in the world, I see the growth just over the last
Mm-hmm.
12 to 14,
Yeah.
16 months. I see the crowd. I'm
Mm. Yeah.
listening to the reactions.
Mm-hmm.
I'm listening to your fans who are putting the money down to come and watch you guys. They're heavily invested in
Mm-hmm.
what you guys have going on. And that is a testament to the work that you're putting
Yeah.
in. It doesn't happen overnight. Rome wasn't built in a day. And it makes
Mm.
me want to ask you this too, because over the last year and a half, I've seen a little bit of Australian influence, and I think that has a lot to do with Oman being over there.
Yeah.
It's a whole nother country that
Mm-hmm.
is probably going to tune in and watch
Mm-hmm.
what you have going on just based off of like one specific individual.
Yeah.
And while I say that, let me
Mm-hmm.
clarify it a little bit, because I always tell people it just takes one. It takes one guy or one girl
Yeah.
to go out and do something to put light on the entire market. And
Mm.
I feel like a piece of that has
Yeah.
happened and transpired with Amon being able to go to Australia for
Mm.
I think it was like 4 or 5 years, learn and be
Yeah.
involved in several promotions, and then bring that back to you guys. Is that something that is
Mm-hmm.
prominent? Is that something that's happening over there?
Oh, definitely. Um, they help. We got plenty of help from the Australians, and that really helped us elevate our wrestling to another level. Actually, with the help of Carlo, Carlo basically took us under our wing, trained us, gave us knowledge. So basically, what Eman learned from Carlo, Carlo also basically gave to us, which is something that I'm grateful of, which is really
Absolutely. I
good.
think that again, knowledge is power.
Mhm.
And I think stuff like that sets you up
Mhm.
for better successes down the line. What's to say that you don't
Yes.
get a shot to
Mhm.
get a visa and go to Australia or go to another continent or go to another place to work, and you're able to
Mm.
already integrate in
Yeah.
with some of the style? And some of the because there could be styles clashes, right? Like
Mm-hmm.
again, people train differently everywhere,
Yeah.
and it's not all the same. But the beautiful
Mm-hmm. Yes.
thing about it is the education side of it
Mm-hmm.
is it doesn't stop. You can open your brain and you know,
Yep.
I always say shut your
Mm-hmm.
mouth and listen. You know, if you just listen to what's going on, you're going to learn a
Yeah.
lot. Now, you've mentioned too about being able
Mm-hmm.
to do some international stuff and you know get out of Malaysia or
Mm-hmm.
Malaysia specifically and get out there in front of other audiences. How do those
Yep.
opportunities come to you? And you
Mm-hmm.
know, let's chat a little bit about you branching out, if you will.
Okay. So the first country that I wrestled in besides Malaysia was Singapore for a company called Grapple Max. Because um all of us in Asia, because you know how in Asia there's not much compared to Australia, the US, there's not as many professional wrestling promotions out there. So because of that, right, when we were in Asia, we were pretty well connected. So in terms of booking, I wouldn't say it was the hardest because I already knew the promoter of Grapple Match, which is Greg. He came to Malaysia before to wrestle back when I was still training and before my debut. So because of that, I just suddenly got a message to wrestle and it's like, okay, I'm not gonna take this opportunity for granted. Went to Singapore to wrestle, and then after that, it was Singapore again for SPW, Andrew. So okay, fun story. I was actually not picked. I was actually a replacement for my then coach. Yeah, my then coach who unfortunately had not accident, like was not able to perform in the show. So he gave the opportunity to me, which is something that I'm grateful for as well. So I wrestled for SPW, and then after that would be Thailand. Wait, was it Thailand? Wow, Thailand for Setup Pro Wrestling. This one, me and my tag partner Mouse Karu, we actually reached out to the promoter Pumi to see if he would give us a chance, and thankfully he gave us a chance, and yeah, it was smooth. Like it was really really good. After that, we were connected as well, and from this day on, Pumi is still a very good friend of mine. And then after that would be same thing. Vietnam. Yeah, we went to Vietnam as well as a tag team. That was also very fun. We reached out to the promoters. They also gave us a chance. So as you can see, right, every one of us are pretty well connected. So in terms of booking, I would say, yeah, pretty grateful to have them give us a chance. And what other companies? Singapore, Thailand, Vietnam, China. I went. Oh, this is actually recent. I went to China to wrestle. So Um, the promoter as well reached out to me wanting to give me a chance. MKW, I'm not sure if you heard, Middle Kingdom Wrestling, Adrian, he's the promoter. He also reached out to get me to go there. So during that time, I was like, actually, it was just this year only. I was like, damn, it's so far out, and I have like, right now I'm in uni finding a job. I still need like it was still something that I was deciding because it's so far away. But I still decided to go anyway, and it was pretty fun. And guess what? On the first day, like my first match, that I won a championship. I was like, oh my god, you are so like the promoters like putting so much trust in me, and that's something I'm grateful for. Yeah. Wait, is that all the countries? Malaysia, Singapore, Vietnam, Thailand. Yeah. So far, that's only like 5 countries. I still want to go
Well, you
even
got to think
further.
too, like all it takes is the
Yeah.
opportunity to be seen, right? Like that, yeah, those are the moment to me.
Yes.
Those are moments that
Mhm.
matter because you're able
Mhm.
to put your craft in front of new eyeballs. And what we have learned over the
Mhm.
course of
Yep.
just building this platform over the last several years is you don't know who's watching, when
Mhm.
they're watching, or how they're watching, but they're watching. And it just takes the right
Yep.
person, the right
Mhm.
time, the right
Mhm.
place, and it can change the entire complexion of what you're doing. And I love hearing
Yes.
the fact that you're out there making these
Mhm.
runs. Because again, like I say, you're still so young
Mhm.
and you're getting a wealth of experience
Yeah.
and knowledge along the way from different areas
Mhm.
and different places.
Yeah.
And again, learning moments. What were some of the stuff that you picked up from these
Mhm.
international tours that you've been able to do to bring back to Malaysia Pro?
Mhm. So what I learned through throughout my like wrestling for different companies is that what I realized is that wrestling, there's no like specific way in terms of learning and wrestling. But what you can do is like what you said, you mentioned just now, open yourself, learn from everyone. And what I do is I learn from every single one of these people. Like I've been lucky enough to have plenty of mentors, people to listen to. And what I do is I take everything and I combine it, and I use all that knowledge to further elevate my career. It's something that yeah, I don't try to, what I'm trying to say is I don't try to stay in one corner. I don't try to limit myself to knowledge.
Oh, you
That's what I'm
can't.
trying to say.
It only makes you more valuable. The more
Yeah.
you know and the more you learn, like I said,
Yeah.
it's easier to
Mhm. Mhm.
make those connections
Mhm.
to get your product out there to more eyeballs, because that's the name of the game.
Mhm.
You know,
Yeah.
you got to be seen.
Mhm.
You got to have
Yeah.
that moment. Real quick, let me go over
Mhm.
to YouTube. Jason Red, if you could pick any country or promotion for your next gig abroad, where would you like to wrestle?
Yeah. Wow. Well, if you want to talk about long-term goals, my long-term goal has always been to wrestle in the
Oh, brother,
United
you
States.
get here and I got that. Don't worry
That's
about it.
always been something.
You get over here, I got
Yes,
that.
that's
That's
some. Yeah.
we've got our own live events,
Yeah.
and we are
Mhm.
well connected. So you just tell me when
Yeah.
and what you're looking at,
Yeah.
and I
Yeah.
will start putting the word out to a
Awesome.
lot of different people.
Uh-huh. Yeah. US has always been my dream, but besides that, I've always wanted to wrestle in Japan as well. Yeah, Japan is also like basically what I want is like I want to make sure I get as much as I can from every country, and I just want what I'm trying to say is I want more
Yeah.
repetition. That's
With
basically what I want to
Let
say.
me ask you
So
this.
yeah, if you're talking about a
Let me ask
long-term
you
goal,
this. I don't mean to step on
yeah,
you. I'm so sorry. Would you
yeah,
mention like getting to Japan? Do you think
it's okay,
that
it's okay, it's okay.
maybe
Yeah.
the working relationship with DDT may help you get there at some point?
hmm Oh yeah, definitely, definitely. One of my tag team partner Miles Karu is already there. He's good. He's there for like 3 months. So
Okay,
definitely,
Miles, I need for you to fucking do your job and tell them that you got a great tag partner that would love to come over
yeah,
and do a tour and make that happen, Miles. I know you're probably going to watch this.
yeah,
I would love to see that opportunity for
yeah.
you, for real. I think that would be
Mm-hmm.
really great because I don't see you as a guy that
Mm-hmm.
would just hold information like that. You strike me as someone who wants the best for
No,
your local market, and that's Malaysia. And how
definitely.
else
Yeah.
better, like especially when you've got so many great minds that are there now that are helping mold you guys.
Mm-hmm.
Now,
Yeah.
you said something a minute ago about, you
Mm-hmm.
know, long-term goals. That was one of my questions that I do like to ask is,
Yeah.
yeah, we'll keep it to
Mm-hmm.
2026 really
Yeah.
because we're on the backside of it, and I'm curious to know like what are some of your goals
Mm-hmm.
for the rest of the year? What are you looking to accomplish?
In
Hmm.
terms of this year, I want to travel like when I like just now I mentioned I went to China this year. I want to travel out of Asia. So my next goal could also be Korea. It could be I never been to the Philippines. I would definitely travel to the Philippines to wrestle. Yeah. So in terms of long term goals, what I would say is just still same thing, more repetition and new countries that I can put under my belt.
Well, I think that we may be able to help with some of that. That's not a matter of
Yeah.
whatever because we have, I think we're affiliated with over 70
Mm-hmm.
companies across the world, for a
Mm-hmm.
dude
Yeah.
who literally created this platform out of thin air and didn't expect anything from it, and now to what we have
Yeah.
built collectively a group of guys is kind
Mm-hmm.
of special, and to see that we're able to move the needle in places is something that is not something that we take for granted. And you know, we none of
Yeah.
us give a shit about being famous. We're not just being 100%. There's a lot of people who know who we are, but at the end of the
Mm-hmm.
day, it's always been about how do we help? How do we utilize the viewers and the audience that we
Mm-hmm.
have to put, you know, new people in front of them? Because again, all you have to do is be
Yeah.
seen. That's why these conversations to me are critical, because we do
Yeah.
have a lot of different affiliates who watch our stuff and look for people
Mm-hmm.
to work with and bring to their areas specifically. And
Mm-hmm.
if you get a shot in the States,
Yeah.
fucking take it, dude, and let me know. Like, if you set
Yeah.
something up, don't tell me a month before you come out here. Like, let me know several in advance, and then I can
Mm.
do a lot of stuff on the backside
Mm.
that nobody will ever see. And
Oh, that's nice
well,
of
it's
you,
it's
man.
because that's how we utilize the platform. I mean, again, if we built these connections and we've
Mm-hmm.
built
Yeah.
these, I know how difficult professional wrestling is. I know how difficult it is to get a shot somewhere.
Mm.
So if
Yeah.
we can be that bridge, why
Mm.
not? Why not make it easier
Yeah.
for some of you guys to
That's
make
true.
some
That's true.
moves?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not saying that you don't already have your own connections. You probably do. But what if we have the one that can open that door?
Mm.
And one of the most gratifying things thus far
Yeah.
with this entire platform came at our 4th live event, which was in April of this year. I got hit up
Mm.
by,
Mm-hmm.
I want to say, 6 different affiliates that saw guys on our show and said, "Put us in touch. We want to work with them."
Mm-hmm.
And that's the win. And that started
And
in April. Since April,
yeah.
we've gotten
Yes, it is.
18 different pieces of talent on other shows, and in the direction of being
Wow.
booked in other states and other locations, and reputable companies, not
Mm.
shit companies that don't care about you.
Yeah.
Reputable independent companies. That's the name of the
Mm-hmm.
game. And I think that we've
Yeah.
done a pretty good job thus
Mm-hmm.
far, and it's only going to get bigger and better. And that's why these relationships matter to me. It's like getting you guys in here to,
It does matter.
yeah,
The
well, it's more than
connection.
that, because like we don't do anything short term
Mm-hmm.
at
Mm-hmm.
all. So the companies that we work with,
Yeah.
you
Mm-hmm.
specifically, this isn't the first and last time you'll be on this show. We'll have you back on in 6 or
Yeah.
8 months and talk about what's come up since
Nice.
this conversation,
Yeah.
and everything else that comes
Mm-hmm.
along with it.
Yeah.
I'm heavily invested in you guys. Like I told you, anytime Iman tells me that
Mm.
there's a show, I send him some money.
Yeah.
And what I love about that is the conversion rate
Mm-hmm.
is I can send $200, but $200 to me is 500 to you guys.
Yeah.
So like that's gonna go
That's like more
it's
than that
gonna
actually.
go
Yeah.
further for you guys, right? So like that's because
Mm-hmm.
y'all
Yeah.
you all, and this is everybody on the roster, you guys have drawn us in. You guys make
Mm-hmm.
us want to invest, and you guys make us want to
Mm.
see you succeed, because
Yeah.
you're doing something big
Mm.
for Malaysia right now. Like, I do think that the scene is on the
Mm-hmm.
upswing, and I think MYPW is a big piece of that. So why wouldn't we get back?
Yeah.
Why wouldn't
Mm-hmm.
we do anything that we could
Yeah.
do to help you? Because you guys have already won us over. And I say that to say, let's talk a little,
Mm-hmm.
and it's segue's not perfect on this one, but you did mention your tag partner. Let's talk about the tag team and working as a tag team, and
Mm-hmm.
the presentation that you guys put together
Yeah.
there. Y'all just had a match not too long ago. We briefly spoke on it earlier. I thought you were
Yeah.
gonna turn. I thought we were gonna
Mm-hmm.
see it. But we did.
Nah.
But let's talk about the tag team aspect of it, and
Yeah.
because you guys look like you're having a lot of fun, and
Mm-hmm.
ultimately that is the biggest
Oh
piece.
yeah.
Because if you're not having fun, it's
Mm-hmm.
gonna show. Let's talk about it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, our tag team is called
Mm-hmm.
the Juicy Boys. Me and Mouse Karu. We started back in 2023. Our tag team. So we debuted. I mean, we debuted our tag team in Singapore actually. And when I back then, right, I was like, what can make us? I was thinking of ideas that can make us unique, like can make us different compared to everyone else. Because we don't just want to be wrestlers that are just there. We want to actually show something. So I was like, we were supposed to film a promo, and I was like, hey, why don't we start? Why don't we just sing the promo? Why don't we make a song? And then because back then, one of the something that I got the idea, the info from AEW. I'm not. Do you remember MJF and Chris Jericho
Mm-hmm.
when they sang their where they started singing their promo. So I was like, hey, this is kind of funny. Maybe we should do that. Then ever since then, right, we've been doing it ever since. So we just started making parodies, singing, dancing, being stupid. But what's good about our tag team is that we could we could work both ways. We could be face, we could be heels, and it's just really fun. It's like yeah, it's like the new day in a sense.
No,
It's fun,
and the
really fun,
chemistry is there.
colorful.
You know, like I remember when
Yeah.
we chatted
Yeah.
with Iman. It probably was way before we were doing these live, and at the very inception, really, of kind of what we were trying to do. And
Yeah.
he brought you guys up. He was like, "You guys you need to watch the
Mm.
Juicy Boys." And then, of course, you know,
Yeah.
again, somebody I respect tells me probably need to watch these guys. Well, then we start paying closer attention and
Mm.
watching the progression.
Mm.
And you guys had a tremendous run and still are having a great run as a tag team. And it led to that number one contenders match. And, you know,
Mm.
Goth and I sat down and watched it a couple weeks
Yeah.
ago. And it opened up the show, and it was fucking
Yeah.
incredible. The way you two work together, y'all know each other so
Oh, thank you,
well.
man. Yeah.
Let's chat a little bit
Mm.
about the number one contenders match. While you came
Mm.
up, you didn't pull the win on this one, but it was still such a
Yeah.
great match to kick off that show, and
Ah.
it set
Yeah.
the tone for a great event.
Mm. Yeah.
What's your thoughts on it?
Ooh, that match. Ooh, let me think. Yeah, it was definitely a long time coming. I would say, working with mouse, I would say back then, not hard at all, actually. It was, um, I would say, when working with him compared to everyone else, I would say that, like you said, our chemistry has always been good. So working with him has always been really fun. That's what I'm trying to say.
Well,
Yeah. And yeah, I didn't get the victory, but at the end of the day, right, what matters to me is that as long as we get, like, as long as the crowd is happy and satisfied, that's what matters. It's not, yeah, I don't really care about winning or losing. I just want to make sure the crowd is happy with what we
I used to
gave them.
always say this when I was a heel, and when back in that day we called the matches. I don't know if that still works that way now, but that's the way it was then. And
Yeah.
I would always tell guys three things. I look for three things. Did I get a reaction?
Yeah.
Did you get a reaction? And did the match get a reaction? If all those answers are yes, I don't give a fuck. It was successful.
Yeah.
It was a successful outing, if you will. And truly, that crowd was really invested. And that's where I say, like, you know, that was something special. It was a great way to kick off that show because it set the tone. It set the pace. It set everything that needed to be set, and it ended up being a really solid event. What's one? You may not even be able to narrow this down, but if you can, great. What's one of your favorite matches so far?
Yeah.
What's one of your favorite events that you've been able to take part in with MYPW?
With MYPW. Some of my favorite matches against Carlo Cannon for the World Championship. That was in 2023. Wow, there's actually plenty. My match with Mouse, that's also one of my favorites. My match with Eman in 2020, early 2020. My match with, there's so many. I feel like, let's see. Whoa. Some of tag matches pretty fun as well. Love and freedom. Love and freedom. Our matches against Love and Freedom have always been very fun. What else? Jack Alexander. Yeah, I always like pushing that guy to the limit. It's funny. Yeah. But yeah, those are my few favorite matches. My title match, obviously. Yeah, but yeah, I guess that's about it. I've plenty of every single match that I do, I always value.
Love and Freedom is a team that is low key one of my favorites out there. These guys stop and do the dance break in the middle of the match. It is literally a great presentation the whole way around, and they were so quick, and I love these guys for it. They were so quick to follow back when we followed them, and just, you know, and I've had some DMs with the guys. Like they're great. I love the act. I love what's going on.
Yeah.
With MyPW though, we
Yeah.
kind of have to talk a little bit about the real global threat. We kind of got to talk a little bit about what's going on
Mm,
there because it seems like they're on a tear, and it
mm,
seems like somebody
mhm.
needs to put an end to the tyranny, if you will, that is going on with
Yeah.
RGT.
Yeah.
What are
Uh-huh.
your thoughts
Mhm.
on if and when you can cross paths with them, like how would you shut them down?
Mhm. Well, we gotta kick their asses. Fuck these guys.
Yeah, I need to see
Fuck these guys,
a
man. Yeah.
revolution of my PW
Yeah.
talent to
Yeah.
come together and be like, you want to be a real global
Yeah.
threat? Okay, well let me just put my foot in your ass.
Mhm. We're gonna be like the we're gonna gather like the Avengers and
Yes, you
beat them up.
do because they've got a stranglehold on
Yeah.
everything.
Yes.
But
Mhm.
I think
Yeah.
that it's great to see. I think so far you guys are crushing it and
Mm.
doing some tremendous work. And
Mhm.
again, just these
Mhm.
first conversations, they're really just surface scratchers. Really, it's so that I can introduce you to our audience and
Yeah.
introduce you to our platform on a
Mhm.
more personal level versus people who may or may not show up for watch
Mhm.
parties. And I'm always really grateful for whatever time I can get with people so we can try and put you out there to our audience. And like I say, with it just being a
Mm, yeah.
surface scratcher, if you will, it will lead me to what I call the final segment of the show. And this is where I say, like, we
Mm.
really try to help. And there's a lot of different things that we can do
Yeah.
here and that we can try to do here. So I've got a couple of questions for you. You have
Mhm.
no time frame. Take as much time as you need to answer them because they're real. This is
Yeah.
the business part, if you will, of the conversation. And
Mhm.
with us
Yeah.
being connected,
Mm.
just about on every continent minus Japan, I blame Logan Paul for that. But outside, we're working on it. We're working on it. We've got a couple of ends, but I'm
Mhm.
not there yet.
Yeah.
It takes a lot for them to trust an American.
Yeah.
Thanks, Logan.
Mhm.
But at the end of the
Yeah.
day, we have got so many great relationships, and we touched on it a little bit earlier. But what are some companies that are out there that you wouldn't mind, dipping that toe in the water if you could, or getting an opportunity at?
Wow. Let me think. Many companies I've always wanted to work with. If we're talking about the, yeah, I'll start with maybe the UK. I've always wanted to work with Progress Wrestling. Well, in the US, Reality of
Hmm.
Wrestling. Um, well, if you want, like, obviously, my dream is always the big three companies, right? That's, I feel like that's what everyone would love that. But if you're talking about like, yeah, WWE, AEW, obviously, if I had the opportunity, I would definitely go because at the end of the day, that's a dream. My companies that I would love to work with: ROH, TNA. Um, let's see. Um, to be honest, I just like, what is it? I just want to wrestle in the United States, man. That's just a dream that I want to have, and any opportunity that I would get, right, I would definitely appreciate it, and I will take a look at it, and I would definitely love to work with them for it. Um, if you're talking about companies, wow, there's so many companies. Uh, let's see, we're talking about Japan, Dragon Gate, DDT, Glee, um, the US. Let's see, let's see. There's just so many.
There are, but see, here's the thing:
Let me,
you name two
yeah, yeah,
that
yeah,
that I
yeah,
am definitely
yeah.
connected to with Progress
Mhm.
and with
Yes.
Reality of Wrestling.
Mhm.
We've got friends in both.
Mhm.
At Progress, I'm still
Mhm.
waiting on Big Damo to get back to me because we had a relationship with the previous owner.
Yeah.
But I'm
Mhm.
before I go further with
Yeah.
that, I gotta wait and get confirmation because
Mhm.
changing ownership can
Mhm.
mean changing, kind of the way they want to do things. In reality of wrestling, we've got a lot
Yeah.
of friends there. A lot of friends there. I'll tell you this.
Yeah.
Like I said earlier, if you come
Yeah.
to the States or you get an
Mhm.
opportunity to come to the States, you just need to let me know. Let me know when you're
Mhm.
coming. Let me know what area you're going to be
I
in,
appreciate that, man. Yeah.
and I will do
Mhm.
my job, which is to reach out and
Awesome.
say, "Hey, we got a friend of ours that's
Mhm.
coming over. He's going to be here for a couple of months.
Mhm.
Here's some stuff. Here's
Mhm.
some stuff that you can look at. Give him a shot. If you give him a shot, I always do this, especially with my international friends.
Mhm.
I'll sponsor them on the first show, because at that point, like,
Oh,
well,
that's so
here's my
nice.
thought
Yeah.
process on it. It's easy for companies to say no.
Mhm.
It's easy for companies to say, no, we're already
Yeah.
booked. It's if it's financial, it's whatever. Well,
Mm.
if I'm paying somebody's rate, you can't really say no, because if you say no, then
Yeah.
it's not any of the above. It's you just don't want to, because
Mm.
with a lot of you guys, like I said,
Mm.
it's just being seen. It's putting you out there in front of the right
Yeah.
eyeballs so that you can make and do
Mhm.
what you need to do, and that is just impress. You
Yeah.
have the ability. It just needs to
Mhm.
be seen. So with
Yeah.
companies
Yes.
come opponents. Who are some opponents out there? Some people that you wouldn't
Mm.
mind working with or that you want to work with? Who are some of those people?
Ooh. Mustafa Ali.
Yep.
Mustafa Ali. Nick Nemeth. Um. Let's see. My dream opponent. Like, if you want to talk about dream matches, right? Dream matches. My dream opponent has always been Seth Rollins, my favorite wrestler in the world. I love Seth Rollins, man. I take so much inspiration by moveset from Seth Rollins, and yeah, hey, and also speaking about, like, you're talking about places, I've always wanted to train in his school as
Yep.
well.
I
Yeah,
know some folks who've been
yes,
through those doors.
yeah, uh huh. And who else? Like, I'm gonna mention some, people around the region as well, around my Asia region. I've always wanted to work with um uh, let me see. The Statement, Andrew Tang again. Uh, let's see. In Australia. Oh, TJ. Well, oh yeah, I always wanted to work with TJ. Not from Australia, but I always wanted to work with TJP. Um, let's see who else. Mm, the Japanese. Kota
Mm,
Ibushi. I love Kota Ibushi.
those are some heavy hitters so
But
far.
yeah, yeah. I mean, if you want to talk about dream opponents, yeah, those are the people that I've always looked up to. Um, let me see. Damn, it's a bit hard because I've been lucky enough to work with plenty of people throughout these 10 years. So I'm thinking of people that I haven't worked with before. Um, let's see. Ooh, Dante Chen. Dante Chen is someone that I want to work with as well. Um, just one more. Aries from VPW
Okay.
from Vietnam.
Got
Yeah.
it. Got it. Got it. I love some of those names, man. I'd love to see you hooking it up with Mustafa Ali, man. I think
Yes.
that'd be a banger
Yeah.
and a half.
There's like so many,
Think about
so many people I want to
think
work with.
about Mustafa. He's a pretty penny.
Ooh.
I know how much he costs.
Yeah.
I've been trying. I was just like,
Uh-huh.
oh, that is a lot of cheddar. But it's so going to be worth it at one point. At some point, it's going to happen. We'll get him on a live event at some point. But he is, I think, criminally underrated
Yeah.
and misused by the WWE.
Mhm.
It's insane.
Mm.
Well,
Yeah.
let me ask you this before we
Mhm.
start winding things down for today's show. And really
Yeah.
and truly, it's kind of how our platform started. It was stumbling into areas and finding those
Mm,
hidden gems, and they are indeed everywhere.
mhm,
Who are some people that we should be watching? Who are some
mhm,
guys and girls out there that maybe they don't get that spotlight that they deserve or that
mhm,
you feel like they deserve? Who are some of those
mm.
cats?
Okay. I'll like okay. I'll speak. I'll talk. I'll mention like a name from every country that like yeah every country that I work with. So from Singapore, I would say
Hmm.
the Butcherman and the Butcherman and uh, Hot Shot. Hot Shot is from Grapple Max. So I'll mention like two promotions. Um, from Vietnam, I mentioned before Aries and Sid Nguyen. From uh, from Thailand, Thailand, Jonathan Johnson, Jonathan Johnson and Jonathan Johnson and who else? Monomorph. Oh, I love Monomorph. That's my other tag team partner from Malaysia. If Poppy Stage, that's not really that's my partner as well. But yeah, but I feel like she also people like I think she can get
Hmm.
more eyes on her as well. And Love and Freedom. I love these two. I think they need more eyes on them as well. Love and
I
Freedom.
love
Yeah.
all of those names because I'm familiar with
Mm-hmm.
some, but what
Yeah.
really gets me is the ones that I'm not.
Mm-hmm.
Because then I go out and I start finding matches and I
Yeah.
start watching and I start seeing what's
Mm-hmm.
there and
Yeah.
how
Mm-hmm.
we can
Yeah.
how we can help, because that's the name of the game for me. It's
Mm-hmm.
never been about, how many people watch. It's always been about, let's use those that watch and flip it and turn it over to you guys,
Mm-hmm.
because at the end of the day, and this
Yeah.
goes for schools, it goes for promotions, it goes for anything. We don't have it without you guys. Without you guys that are lacing it up and
Yeah.
getting in there and making it happen. We have nothing. So
Mm-hmm.
for those out there
Yeah.
who don't look at it from that perspective, you should, because without guys like the Wonder Boy,
Mm-hmm.
we don't have that entertainment. We don't
Mm-hmm.
have that level of it. So we have
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
really invest and invest hardcore, man. And that's exactly what we're doing.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I've absolutely
Yeah.
enjoyed this conversation that we've had this morning. Well, morning for me, evening for you.
Same man.
Before we get ready to
Yeah.
sign things off, I do like to turn the floor over to you. Is
Mm-hmm.
there anything that you want to talk about? Is there anything you want to plug? Any upcoming appearances? By all means, man, the floor is absolutely yours.
Okay. All right. So basically, Malaysia Pro Wrestling will be having a show on the 15th. Oh, you know what? Let me just double check one more time before Emang gets angry at me. On the 15th of August, the show is called Causeway Jam. Yeah, that's one of our shows. It's a collab show with Grapple Max. So basically, we'll be fighting. It'll be a Malaysia versus Singapore show, which is always exciting. And yeah, if you guys wanna follow my Instagram is at Ride the Wonder Wave. If you guys wanna follow Malaysia Pro Wrestling's Instagram, it's at Malaysia Pro Wrestling. But yeah, I think that's about it. That's all the plugs
I
that I wanna plug.
I
Yeah.
I'm here for a collab show, brother. Like you talk about
Yeah.
that. I can't wait for that. I
Yeah.
know that I'll
Mm-hmm.
be getting a DM that says, "Hey man,
Mm-hmm.
you wanna spy?" I absolutely do.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see what we can do to make some things happen. I
Yeah. No, positions
you
are
hear
always fun.
my big boy
Mm-hmm.
decided to get up. He's barking in the background. Let me let me
Ah.
just say this, guys, before we get ready to go. The
Mm-hmm.
easiest way that you can show your support is
Mm-hmm.
indeed by like, sharing, and subscribing. And in the Wonder Boy's case, he just told you, but it's also
Mm-hmm.
been on the screen the entire show. Ride the Wonder Wave is where you need to go.
Oh.
That's it. Hit the follow
Oops.
button. Hit that. Share his
Yeah.
content, because
Yeah.
again, we know
Mm-hmm.
over the last several years, you don't know who's watching, when they're watching, or how they're watching, but they are. And all it takes is that right
Mm-hmm.
person, and it can
Yeah.
change someone's complexion of what they've
Mm.
got going on. And if you're not following us at CCP
Mm-hmm.
Podcasting on Instagram, I don't know why the fuck not, because nobody has their fingers on the pulse
Yeah.
of indie wrestling all over the world like we do. We're on every continent, affiliates on every continent but Japan. Thanks, Logan Paul. But we're working on it. We're getting there. And if you like our content, you probably need to subscribe as well. It's the easiest way you can show your support. I have had an absolute blast chatting with you over the last hour, and I cannot wait to see what comes next and what you do next, really, because there's a lot here, and you're still so young. You have so much to give, and it's really going to be cool to sit back and watch you over the next several decades as you continue to grow and do a lot of really cool things. And like I said before, this isn't our last conversation by any means. It's just the first. And if there's anything that we can do to help you, all you got to do is fire me a DM. I'm there, and we're definitely here to help. I would love to get you over here to the United States. If that's a big goal of yours and a big thing for you, just hit me up. Let me know. And let's see what we can do about making that a reality for you, because I do feel like if you were to come over here for an extended period, you'd learn so much and you'd be able to take so much stuff back.
Yeah.
And there's a lot, specifically in Florida, which is where I'm located. So if you come here, if you come to the States, come to Florida first, and then we'll be able to.
Got it. I'll definitely
make some things happen for sure. If you have been watching us live on all of our platforms, thank you guys so much for tuning in this morning for me and this evening for the Wonder Boy. If you're checking us out on replay, please head over and hit the follow buttons everywhere, especially for the Wonder Boy. Check out what he's got going on. You're not going to be disappointed. Head over to Malaysia Pro Wrestling on YouTube as well, guys, and check out what they've got going on there. There's a lot of content there. You can see what's happening and see how this thing is building with MYPW. For my guest today, the Wonder Boy, I am Chris Page, and this is where I say we will see you next time.